It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 5 deadline stream. I've made my transfers, and as I said on yesterday's Final Thoughts video, I've bought Salah. We'll see how it goes. There's a little bit of regret this morning that I'd bought Salah, but I don't think I'm regretting buying Salah. I'm just not liking the situation in general. Like, so much rides on him doing well this week as to whether or not to wildcard in 6. And if he blanks, I've basically wasted my wild card. Or at least, it might not be quite that simple, but it's close to that. So, but my moves are made. I got Calvert-Lewin for Isak. I suspect that Isak will probably start today. And I'm sure I'm going to have to answer that question a lot this morning. But I still think it made sense to sell him before Bruno Fernandes for this week. And I went for Calvert-Lewin over Vardy, because it looked like Calvert-Lewin might rise in price, which he didn't, annoyingly. And I think there's a high chance that Calvert-Lewin will make it on my wildcard 6. So I wanted to get him in case he rose in price. He didn't. I wish I'd gone Vardy. It was a close call. I'm not that worried about it. Of course, I don't have to wildcard in 6, but I will, because I want Arsenal players. And I've got one free transfer last night. Yeah, Bruno fell in price again. It's so annoying. Like, it's been coming, so it's not like that bad. But hang on a sec. Sorry, let me just. Yeah, it's been coming, but I wish it had just waited one more week. One more day. If Bruno could have just waited to drop in price until tomorrow, that would have been so much better. Sampa, new member, thank you very much. Start Calvert-Lewin or Smith-Rowe. I'd probably start Calvert-Lewin, I think. I'm tempted to start João Pedro over Smith-Rowe just in case he starts, but I think there's a chance that he gets benched. What's my team value? I'm not sure. Like, I've lost 0.2 million on Fernandes. I've lost 0.1 on Eze, but I've made money on... I've made 0.1 on Smith-Rowe and Robinson and João Pedro, although he might drop soon. And Pedro Porro and Trent have all gone up in price as well. So... yeah, it is what it is. I just think I messaged Luke last night and I said to him, basically this week for me was either hope that Salah blanks, or now what it is hope that I haven't wasted my wild card. Like, FPL is just such a stupid game. It's not even fun. Why do we play it? I'm not even like excited to see whether my captain hauls. I'm just excited to see whether I've wasted my... well, not excited. I'm worried about whether I've wasted the wild card. Anyway, that's my team. It's nice to be locked in at least this early. I'm glad I didn't take the decision down to the deadline. Start Lewis, Hall, or Lewis. Yeah, okay. Start Hall or Lewis. Who's more likely to start? I might say Lewis, to be honest. Slanky or Trent for captain. Solanke for me. Will, how's it going? Thanks for the content. Start Calvert-Lewin or Smith-Rowe. Calvert-Lewin, I think. Start one between Harwood, Bellis, Fass, or Robinson. Fass has got South... oh, no. Sorry. It's... yeah, Harwood, Bellis, sorry, has got Ipswich at home. The only problem with Harwood, Bellis is... oh, no, he will start, won't we? Because Stevens is out, right? Because of the red card. So I'd probably start Harwood Bellis, I think, to be honest with you, just because of the fixture. Am I looking to wildcard immediately after the deadline? No, I'll probably wait. I'll wait until... The nice thing is for this week is most matches are today. So the only games tomorrow are Brighton versus Forest and City versus Arsenal. Now, obviously, I might wildcard tonight and then Saka, Gabriel and Raya could all get injured. That would be super unlucky. And then again, the wildcard would be wasted. But I'd probably have to activate it tonight because I think there's going to be some price changes. So we'll see. We'll see. Is Duran worth a 1 week punt? I don't think he's going to start, to be honest with you. Aurier play one of João Pedro, Robinson or Munoz. I'd probably play João Pedro in that case. On wildcard 6, Palmer and Jota to Salah and a 5.5 midfielder. Yeah, quite like that. Which 5.5 midfielder, though? I'm not too sure. Lots of people think that Minter might be benched. Brereton Diaz, will he definitely start? I'm not sure. Presumably he will. I don't know if you can guarantee it. Adama Traore against Newcastle. I mean, you could just captain Palmer and save the transfers, to be honest with you. Erez, thank you. Got get Solanke for 1 week before wildcard 6. Have Miniz and Murphy, so need the free transfer. Yes, Solanke's good. Watkins or Palmer captain? Ooh. I think it probably should be Watkins. But the good thing about Palmer is he's probably going to go and get you 90 minutes. I don't know if you can definitely say that about Watkins. And Palmer's definitely on penalties. Like, Watkins has got the better fixture for sure. I think if I was in that case, I'd probably go Palmer. But it's not... the fixture, though, really is Watkins. And he did play over 80 minutes in the last game week. I think that's really tight. Palmer is the first game of the day as well, which might put some people off. I think I'd go Palmer for guaranteed minutes and penalties. For a 1 week punt, would you go Solanke over Vardy or Calvert-Lewin? Yes. If I'd had the money to be able to go Solanke instead of Calvert-Lewin, I definitely would have, I think. I definitely would have, I think. Aman, how's it going? I have 2 free transfers. Jota and Isak to Salah and Stewart, 4.5. Or Isak to Watkins, Solanke, Calvert-Lewin. Most likely wildcard 6. If you're happy to captain Watkins or Solanke, then you could save the transfer, yeah? And Jota's pretty good this week, right? Everyone knows Isak's going to start, isn't he? We're all selling him. He hasn't dropped in price. He's going to start. Steve, new member, thank you. Start Gabriel or Greaves, bad situation. So Greaves is away to Southampton. Bit of goal threat there. I'd be a little bit tempted to start Greaves, but the correct answer is probably Gabriel. If you've got Haaland, though, I'd be tempted just to not play your Arsenal defender. Do I think that Palmer is way less appealing under Maresca than under Pochettino? Possibly. I think I'm no tactician, as you know. Lots of people saying that Maresca's a little bit more rigid in how he wants players to play and how Chelsea set up and stuff. But also, I feel like it's way too early to say whether Palmer's like a less appealing FPL option, because after game week 2, when he got 4 returns, remember the game week 3 knee-jerk stream? It was like Palmer was absolutely essential. And now 2 game weeks later, we're talking about whether or not he's less appealing. So I think we need to be careful about going from one extreme to the other. I think Palmer is probably just still a really nice pick because of minutes and penalties. But he's not essential, that's for sure. And it may be that he's less appealing than under Pochettino. But I think it's I'm not trying to like cop out of the question, but I think it is just too early to tell. Like, if I had Palmer, I probably wouldn't be all that worried. Is Isak, Jota to Salah, João Pedro a good move? I don't think I would buy João Pedro. There is a chance he starts. I could be wrong about the benching. I think he'll be in the squad. But I'm not... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about buying him. Wildcard 6. Sorry, I did miss one. Wildcard 6, 2 free transfers. Smith Rowe to Jota and Isak to Solanke. I'd be tempted not to use both of your free transfers. Just do one, I think, at the most. Gil, I can't get to I can get to Henderson, Gabriel, Konza, Lewis, Salah, Saka, Mbeumo, Haaland, JP, Welbeck, and Burn and Rodgers in game week 6 for free. Should I wildcard to get 3 Arsenal? Well, you've already got Salah. No, I wouldn't be wildcarding that, I don't think. Honestly, I mean, it's hard to know because I don't know how many of those players you already own and how many transfers you're going to use. But if that was your team in game week 6, you're only really missing the third Arsenal. I mean, Welbeck and João Pedro are about to have worse fixtures as well, worth mentioning. So it depends. It's probably quite close, but I think you're in a pretty good position already having Salah and Saka and being able to get Gabriel. Play Kwanzaa, Robinson or Mikalenko. I would... Kwanzaa could start, I guess. If I was a Kwanzaa owner, I'd be a little bit tempted to start him and hope that he just doesn't come on off the bench. But Konate's played quite a lot, hasn't he? So could that happen? Maybe. I'd probably play Robinson before. I'd maybe even play them in that order: Kwanzaa, Robinson, and Mikalenko. Maybe take a risk on Kwanzaa just because of the fixture. Roll the free transfer and risk João Pedro. No bench. Want 2 free transfers for wildcard 6? Then yeah, if you want 2 free transfers, roll. I'm pretty sure that João Pedro will be involved today, or is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow, isn't it? Like he'll be in the squad. I'm fairly confident about that. I just don't know about the start. Liam, thank you for becoming a member. Alex, bench Isak, João Pedro, or Mbermo. I don't know why, but I just think Isak's more likely to start than João Pedro. I said that yesterday on the Final Thoughts video, so I'll say bench João Pedro. I would play Mbermo. AZ, good day. Have Isak and Pedro and first benches in Kunku. I have 2 free transfers. Jota, Rogers, Isak, João Pedro could go. Well, you're not going to sell Jota before Bournemouth at home, are you? Need to punt as our wildcard next game week. Don't want a wildcard now. I mean, potentially you could just be fine, right? Rogers is good. Jota's good. Isak and João Pedro could both play. So it depends how much money you got in the bank as well. Like, I'd maybe sell one of Isak or João Pedro, but I don't think you need to do more than that. Saka to Salah and Jota to Rogers. With Isak up top. Or Saka to Salah, Jota to Mbermo, and Isak to VAR -4. No, I don't think you need the -4. I would just do the first one. Kennedy, thank you. If I leave 1 free transfer and wildcard in 6, will I have 2 7? Yes. However many you have going into the game week is however many you'll have after you wildcard. So if you've got 2 going into game week 6, you'll have 2 if you wildcard. Sorry. If you have 2 transfers going into game week 6 and you wildcard in game week 6, you'll have 2 free transfers in 7. On wildcard 6, thinking 1 week punt on Welbeck. Start João Pedro or Mikalenko. João Pedro, I think. Like, João Pedro is okay to bench if you've got a decent attacker or a really good defender. But if it's an okay defender, I'd probably just risk João Pedro. Tom, member 26 months, thank you. Is having Salah and Haaland in your team a differential? Maybe slightly, but I think a lot of people have got that now, right? Might be more of a differential going forward. Play 2 of Rogers in Burma or João Pedro. Play 2 of Rogers in Burma. I would bench João Pedro. Have João Pedro, Vardy or Miniz? Should I just switch out Miniz for free or Miniz and another for a hit? Probably just Miniz. I think Vardy is okay to play this week. I think he'll start. Kennedy, new member, thank you. Should I start Morgan Gibbs-White over either Isak or João Pedro? No, I don't think so. I think I just play them both. What do I think about Sancho and Nkunku for Eze and João Felix? Honestly, I got no interest in Chelsea midfielders apart from Palmer. I would just ignore them all. Like, Maresca basically said that they've got 2 players for each position. Now, obviously, those players can play in different positions. Like, he said Neto was like right wing, but he can play left wing. He said that Palmer's a 10, but he can play right wing. I think it's just a mess, honestly. And, like, you look at some of those Chelsea players and you think, well, João Felix is too good to be benched. But that's fine. But that means you have to bench the likes of Nkunku, who's probably too good to be benched, or Neto, who's probably too good to be... They've just got too good of a squad, really, in attack, on paper at least. I think it's just a mess. I just would not bother with it. Like, Chelsea midfielders, and we're not talking about Palmer here, right? He's nailed. Chelsea midfielders are potentially really nice prices if they play. But look what happened with Madueke, right? He scores a hat-trick, massive bandwagon. Now, the fact he's blanked twice is a little bit, that can happen. But then he only gets 60 minutes in the last game. Could it be that he gets benched at some point for Neto? I think it could happen. Or Palmer. And João Felix or Nkunku could play number 10. Like, it's just a mess. I would just ignore it personally. I just don't think the prices are good enough to take that headache. For wildcard 6 with Havertz, what changes will you make to your wildcard 6 draft? I'd probably just get rid of Bruno. 2 Arsenal defenders closed the door for a third attacker despite the Odegaard issue. Don't you think Kai is good? I think Havertz is good, but here's the basic thinking for me. Arsenal defence is amazing. And there's other good defenders, but there's not many up to the same standard as Arsenal ones. Whereas with Havertz, there's a lot of attackers I like. Like I could have Solanke. Isak could come back at some point. I could go cheap with Wood, Calvert-Lewin, Vardy, João Pedro. I just think Havertz is a little bit less needed. Now, I might go for him, but I doubt it. Honestly, my thinking is, after what's happened the first 4 weeks so far, is just get Raya and Gabriel and just stop worrying about it and just leave them in forever until they get injured or I wildcard again. After game week 4, I finally got my head around the fact that players can blank. Players can blank. We're all trying to bring Salah in. Guess what? He could blank. It is possible. And it's going to be an absolute killer if he does. Bench Gabriel or Aina. Aina, I think. Bench Rodgers or Sharda. Sharda. Play Konza or Burn. Konza. Villa defence has been pathetic. Has Newcastle defence been good? Start Lewis or Robinson. I think I'd start Lewis and hope for the best. He's not a guaranteed starter, but he started every game so far. Do your recommendations ever blank? They always blank. Start Greaves, Fass, Vardy, Robinson. Start... Wait, what? Oh, start 2. Greaves, Fass, Vardy, Robinson. Greaves and Vardy, I think. Start 1, Garnacho or João Pedro. I don't know if Garnacho is going to start. I think he should be starting, but I don't know if he will. So for that, I'd probably have... I don't know if João Pedro is going to start either. I'm going to say João Pedro, though. I think he's got more chance of starting than Garnacho. Best 1 week punt forward, not João Pedro, 7.7 or under. I'd get Solanke. Do AFCON qualifiers impacting Burma and others like Salah? I got to be completely honest, I got no idea. I don't remember AFCON ever causing problems apart from it when it's on. And not like a problem, but obviously players go away. And so when the competition is on, it's you have to get rid of them basically. But in terms of qualifiers, I generally got no idea. Is it time for Trent to be rested? Possibly. Late to the stream, what was the reason for Calvert-Lewin over Vardy? Because I think I'll have Calvert-Lewin on wildcard 6, or I think there's a very high chance, and it looked like he might have gone up in price last night, and if he did, that would have mean I would have had to pay an extra 0.1, so I went for Calvert-Lewin. He didn't rise in price, so it doesn't matter. Do I wish I'd gone for Vardy? Maybe, but it's quite a close call. Do I not like Watkins? Yes, but he's 9 million. Like I could have done Isak to Watkins for free. And just captain him, maybe. That could have been another option I could have gone for. And then gone into game week 6 with 2 free transfers. Yeah, maybe I could have thought about that and just taken a -4. But I don't think the Watkins captain is that great over Salah, to be honest. Like, he's fine, but I don't know. AFCON qualifiers are just in the normal international break, so it's not any different. There you go, then. Seems like a silly question, but Greaves or Gabriel? I don't think it is a silly question, to be honest. If I've got Haaland, I think I'd play Greaves. What about Saliba to Trent and Isak to Jackson for a weak punt and wildcard next game week? Sure, yeah. Although, yeah, I just wouldn't use 2 free transfers to do that, to be honest, personally. But if you want to take the punt, yes. I think Isak's going to start, so I'm not sure Vardy is an upgrade. Isak to Solanke Jackson and bench Miniz, or Miniz to Calvert-Lewin and Vardy and bench Isak. I'd probably bench Miniz, I guess. Yeah, because you get a better forward then. Nick, how's it going? Oh, it's Isak's birthday. Good point. He's definitely scoring, isn't he? Not only is he going to score and do really well, he's going to outscore Fernandes. I can see it already. I just hate FPL. Why do we play this game? It's annoying. It's just constant thinking of the worst thing that can happen. This is basically my FPL routine, right? And it's a bit different at the moment because of wildcards. It feels a bit more like stressful, but you get towards the deadline and you think, okay, everything's going to go wrong this week. Isak's going to score a hat trick. Fernandes is going to blank. Salah will be terrible. I wish I hadn't wasted my wildcard. Saturday will be a nightmare for FPL. Sunday won't be much better. By Monday, I'm okay again. And through the week, I'm thinking, actually, do you know what? Team looks all right. I'm okay with it. And then we get to the deadline, I'm thinking, it's all going to go wrong again. every week. Not every week, but a lot of weeks. That's what it feels like. Son or Solanke captain? Ooh, that is a good question. I think I'd have to go Son. just for midfielder status and the fact that I think he took the last Spurs penalty. This is what I really want as a Game Week 6 wildcarder. I want Spurs and Aston Villa to get penalties this weekend and preferably have them scored so that we know who's on penalties. But I think I'd have to say Son, but Solanke's good too. Rate this back four of Hakimi, Koundé, Van de Ven, Udogie. Probably not great for FPL because a couple of those players don't play in the league. Start Isak and Pedro, have Robinson first bench. Sure, yeah, you could do that. How much do I have in the bank? 0.8 million, I think. Would you bring in Duran over Watkins? Not a chance. Look, Unai Emery keeps talking Duran up now. It's possible at some point that he will start, but I want to see it first, basically. I can't believe Duran's gone up in price. I can believe it. I don't think they're good transfers, personally. Like, how many transfers has he had in this week? He's the fifth highest. He's the fifth most brought in forward with 228,000. And look, I'll be the last one laughing. No, sorry, that's wrong, actually. That's wrong. People that have bought him in will be the last ones laughing because he's got 3 returns in 4 games. He can't keep it up off the bench. He needs starts, and I'm just not sure if they're coming. Oh, Watkins is like 9 million. There's a big difference in price between Watkins and Duran, but you can't buy Duran, in my opinion, unless you're absolutely certain he starts, which I don't think you can be. Benj Robinson or Saliba? I think Saliba's probably a little bit better than Robinson this week. But if I had Harden, I'd be tempted just to play Robinson. Bench one of Rodgers, Smith Rowe, João Pedro. João Pedro, that's what I'm doing. -4 for Palmer and Watkins to Salah and Vardy, no wild card. No, I would just... If you're definitely going to go no wild card, I'd go without Salah and just hope for the best. You've got good captaincy options there. Thoughts on McNeil? I'd say he's being overlooked. That's a joke, by the way, for anyone that hasn't seen Game Week preview. Yeah, good. Good 5.4 million option. He's fine. Not essential to bring in or anything. Thing is, if Haaland scores a hat-trick, it's not world-ending for me, to be honest, because I own him. Obviously, if Salah blanks, I'll be annoyed that I didn't save the wild card, but it wouldn't be the end of the world if Haaland gets a hat-trick. Be pretty happy with that. Duran reminds me of Smith Rowe 2 or 3 seasons ago. Yeah, and do you know what happened at that point? People told me that Smith Rowe was better than Salah. Can you believe it? And do you know, Smith Rowe kept outscoring him. Now look at it. Salah's just amazing. Smith Rowe's good too, but he's not Saka. Did I just say Salah? I meant Saka. Yeah, I hate it. Like when stuff like that happens, right? It's so annoying because the best decision is not to buy players that get benched. But then when they keep scoring off the bench, you just look like an idiot when you keep ignoring them. Like, it's so annoying. Like, long term, the better decision is not to go for it, which is why I would not buy Duran. He could keep scoring and eventually start. McNeil or Sharda, I'm on wildcard 5. The safer pick is McNeil. He's absolutely nailed on. I mean, could he get benched maybe, but I doubt it, right? Sharda's more of a punt. I do really... They both got good fixtures as well. The thing I'll say about Sharda is we don't really know enough about him. Like, we haven't seen enough minutes from him in a Brentford shirt. I don't know what the answer is. I think McNeil's the safer pick. Sharda is a bit more... Sharda's the kind of player that playing as a number 9, you score a few goals, that price absolutely skyrockets. But how good will he be in that Brentford team? We don't know. And if it's not working out, could Sharda come out and could Thomas Frank try something else? It's possible. But what I think Sharda will get a good couple of starts, or a good few starts. Yeah, I don't know. I might have that same dilemma on wildcard 6, and I generally don't know which way I would fall right now. Jota Armstrong to Calvert-Lewin in Burmo. / Palmer to Saka to fund or roll. I wouldn't be doing Palmer to Saka this week. Put it that way. Vardy to Greaves to fund Saka to Salah would mean Gabriel, Robinson and Porro in defence. Well, you could play Greaves ahead of Robinson if you wanted to. I don't mind that, no. Yeah, sorry, I don't mind that. Glyn, 27 months, thank you. Calvert-Lewin or Vardy? Vardy did have illness, but he's been training, I think. I'd go Vardy 1 week punt, I think. How decided am I on starting Smith Rowe over João Pedro? I'm pretty decided. The only worry is that João Pedro starts. If João Pedro starts, there's no way I play Smith Rowe. I just don't want. I don't think I want to take the gamble. If João Pedro's in that team tomorrow, it'll be a killer. Zakaria, thank you. Wildcard 6. Isak out, Gabriel out for. Oh, Isak out or Gabriel out for Robertson Porro. I'd maybe just roll, to be honest with you. If you have to do one of those, I would probably do Gabriel out, I think. But look what happened last week when people did that. 1 week punt, Solanke or Jackson. Solanke, bench Havertz or Isak. Havertz. Start 2 of João Pedro, Garnacho and João Pedro. I'd probably start both of the João Pedros, to be honest. Who should I transfer out? João Pedro out for. Depends how much money you got. Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, Solanke, all options. Raul Jimenez, maybe. Who knows? He could do really well. Is wildcard 6 still viable? I keep looking at my team, and if I save up like next 2 or 3 transfers, I shouldn't need to use it. But that is your decision. Like, honestly, this. Oh god, I'm not looking forward to watching Salah at all. Like, the team you see on screen right now, I'm not sure my Game Week 6 wildcard will be that much different. Salah to Saka, Smith Rowe to Mbeumo, and then maybe change the bench around. That could be the only changes. Maybe get rid of Bruno. Like, that's it. It's very minimal. The key thing for me to wildcard 6 was to get Salah. Like, that is it. That's the only reason. Like, I don't even want to look at what my team could be like in Game Week 6 without Salah. It looks great, honestly. João Pedro or Ahmad, leave one on the bench. I think Ahmad's going to start. So I'm going to say João Pedro. But if you think João Pedro starts, you should play him. I'll just say that. I'm not sure, is the honest answer. I just don't know. What's my highest FPL finish? Like 1.2k or something like that? 1.3, 1.4? It's all in the description below. Is Jota getting benched? Probably at some point. Is it going to be this week? Not so sure. Some people are predicting a Darwin Núñez start, but I think it'll be Diaz and Jota. Calm down. I'm pretty calm. Start 2, Havertz, Isak, Calvert-Lewin. I'd probably take the risk with the 2 flag players. What to do with Garnacho? I keep getting returns off the bench. I just hold him for now and see. Is Lewis starting? Tempted to play Harwood Bellis. I think Lewis probably has a good chance of starting, but it could easily be Walker and Vardy or fullbacks. People who already have 1 to 2 Arsenal probably don't need to wildcard next week. Yeah, but it depends who else they've got this week, right? I already had Saka, but I chose to wildcard to get Salah, right? So it depends. Will I be getting early team news? Probably not. What's the early game? West Ham and Chelsea? I doubt it. But you never know. I think they're playing Ahmad until he signs a new contract. I think they're just playing him because he's playing well, to be honest. Would you play Moreno and bench Vardy given the fixtures and City leaking goals? Forest are away to Brighton now. I'd probably play Vardy, I think. Although Moreno could be really attacking. I'm already looking at Moreno on wildcard, potentially. I was leaving... every time I go walking, or not every time, but last couple of times I've gone walking in the morning, I've been leaving voice notes to Luke about wildcard. And I was saying already, I can see the traps that I'm going to fall into. So Salah blank, and then all of a sudden, I feel like I'm going to have to go different to justify my wildcard. That's trap 1. Trap 2 is I might go for Moreno because he's so attacking. And does it really matter if he's not nailed on because the rest of my team looks good? That's going to be a trap because I had that same thing in Game Week 1 about the likes of Kwanzaa and Barco. And look what happened. So I feel like it's trap central. Do I take bets on your players or their teams? As in, can you make a bet with me? Is that what you mean? Not really. Is Haaland at this point a differential captain for Game Week 5? No, I don't think so. I mean, probably more differential than Salah, but not a differential, I would say. Bench, Smith Rowe, Rodgers, and Robinson, Gabriel, Aina. I'd probably bench Smith Rowe over Rodgers, and I'd probably bench Aina over Robinson and Gabriel. Should I start Saliba or Vardio? Ooh. I think you've got to start the guy at home. Although Saliba's absolutely nailed. Vardio maybe not, but I think Vardio will start. Aina versus Robinson. I played the guy at home. Like, I like Forest defence, but they are away to Brighton. I know they drew 0-0 at home with Ipswich, but still. Why do I still have Bruno Fernandes? I just haven't transferred him out yet. I'm wildcard in Game Week 6 and I have one free transfer. Bring Vardy in and bench Rodgers or play Rodgers and roll. Definitely roll. 100%. Calvert-Lewin for João Pedro. Or Palmer to Salah for -4. Probably just Calvert-Lewin for João Pedro. Or just play João Pedro and keep Palmer. Yes, Phoenix is on repeat. Am I humming it or something? I'm changing it right now. Nedeljkovic or Harwood Bellis? Nedeljkovic isn't going to start, I don't think. So, probably not him. I saw something about Unai Emery mentioning that, I think it was an article posted on Twitter about Unai Emery saying how other teams sometimes play like 4 centre-backs and that they could do it too. I don't think that's going to happen this week. But like when Mings is fully fit, which could be a while, could they play like Mings or Pau Torres on the left and then Konza right back, Diego Carlos? Maybe. Either way, Nedeljkovic ain't starting, I don't think. So I'll go Harwood Bellis. Stephen, 77 months member. Thank you very much. Would you start Isak or Smith Rowe? I think I'd risk Isak. Captaincy between Haaland, Trent or Mateta. I would go Haaland. Your team looks good, but was wondering how you could afford it, then saw no Watkins or Isak. Yeah, like sacrifices have to be made somewhere, and that's the one I made. Like I could have sold Bruno instead of Isak, but I don't think that would have been the right call, even though it would probably end up being right. Haaland, Watkins, Palmer, which one's captain? Honestly, I'd be tempted to back against Haaland, but that's easy to say when you've got Salah, right? If I was in that, I think I'd go Palmer out of those. Haaland is capable of scoring a brace against Arsenal, but I don't see it. I really don't. Calvert-Lewin captain over Salah and Haaland. Am I crazy? George, I would say you are probably a little bit crazy, yeah. Who's better? But if you want to go for it, go for it. Who's better this week, Calvert-Lewin or Vardy? It's almost a coin toss, I would say. I'd say Vardy, just about. The wife needs advice. Apparently, she doesn't trust mine. Start Wood, Smith Rowe, or Rodgers. I would probably start Rodgers. Also, Gabriel or Robinson. Gabriel, if you've got Haaland, Robinson. Would you transfer out Isak or Miniz? Miniz, I think. Opinion on Schmodix going forward. I've got him in my draft team on Sleeper, and I'm playing him this week as well. He could be good. I don't know how many goals Ipswich are going to score. It would be a little bit of a concern. Again, I don't feel like I've got enough info to talk too much about Ipswich because 2 of their first games were Liverpool and City, which are obviously very tough. Schmodix could be okay, but my main problem would be, as soon as I think about potentially buying him, like let's say I'm thinking about having him on wildcard 6, he's 6 million. So I feel like I could just go and get Semenyo for less money. And that's it. I think I would just get 2 players. Also, he got subbed on 58 minutes against Brighton, 71 against City. Are the minutes definitely there? Presumably the starts are good for now. I've not used wildcard yet, no. But I'll probably be using it next week. What is my rank? It's just above my head, or at least it will be in a minute. Like 1.9 something million. Absolutely smashing it this season. Is Xerxes a good option over Calvert-Lewin or Vardy? How much is... Do you know what, right? How much is he? No, he's like 7 million, isn't he? I wouldn't go there, I don't think. Maybe if you've got the money, you could take it as a punt. I was just thinking there, did I have enough money for him, but I didn't. Thing is with Calvert-Lewin and Vardy, you got penalties. Oh, that's a good point, actually, as well. Højlund is back, although he probably won't start. But there's a minutes concern there, isn't there? If Højlund's fit enough to play at some point, which he will be if he's on the bench, then Xerxes getting subbed off early could happen. A little thought just went through my head there. Could I go for Hoyland on? No, you can't go for Hoyland on wildcard. Vincent, how's it going? Got 3 transfers to play with best recommendations looking to wildcard next week. I mean, it's impossible to know without knowing your team. Don't send the team. Don't send the team because I won't be able to look for it and give you all the transfers you want. But I mean, Salah's probably the key player to look at. Otherwise, just go for like a single move and get a captain in, like Palmer, Watkins, someone like that. Solanke, Son. Take a -4 for Saka to Salah. Maybe in some situations, but it depends who you're selling. Like I think Luke's taken a -4. But that's because he had so many flags. If your team looks pretty good, I'm not sure I would do it. When you head to the pub to watch Man United get thumped, the lads recognise and talk about FPL. They might do if I went to the pub to watch football. I can't remember last time I went to a pub to watch a football match, to be honest with you. Long time ago. Why Konza over Luka Dean? Just minutes, although Luka Dean looks great. If you think Luka Dean's going to keep starting, he's better than Konza. How am I on YouTube and the fantasy show on Sky at the same time? Magic. Just the magic. Is Fernandez a long-term option for you? I'll break it to you gently now. All right, make sure you're sitting down. All right, you sat down. There is a chance I just keep Fernandez on wildcard. There is a chance. I think if I get stuck for money, he'll be the first full guy. So it's not a guarantee. I just quite like the fixtures. Especially from 8 onwards. Like, they're just real good. But I don't know. Might keep him. We shall see. I mean, it could be something like... this t-shirt's annoying me. It could be something like Fernandez and a 6 million defender versus Bowen and Trent. And in that situation, I'd probably choose Trent and Bowen. But... I don't know. What's on the menu tonight? No idea. No idea. Would you bench Vardy or Robinson? Robinson, probably. Davis or Van de Ven or other 4.5 long term. Got Aina already. Davis is okay. Dunk's okay, although he's 4.6. Pinnock's quite nice from next week onwards. I think Pinnock's pretty nailed, but some people... There's a lot of people that think that Collins has played really well. I've seen this said by a few different people. Collins has played well and that they wouldn't have spent that much money on Van den Berg if he wasn't going to start. I don't see Pinnock dropping out. I'm on wildcard in 6. Get McNeil as the first bench option to get 11 out with Isak and João Pedro starting. No, I'd probably just chance it. Wildcard 6, 2 free transfers. Haaland, Saka, Smith Rowe to Watkins, Salah, Son. A -4 to get rid of Haaland to get Salah. No, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, I would just do... I'd be tempted just to do Saka to Son and captain him. Or Haaland to Watkins and captain him. Haaland's gone up to 15.3 million now, by the way. So if you got him at 15 and you sell him, it's going to cost 0.2 to get him back. Muniz to Vardy is a 1 week punt before wildcard. I'll just bench him. Play Robinson as a 4th defender. I'd be tempted to take the punt, to be honest with you. FPL is a trip. My best start ever, 30k, no trade yet. Normally I'm 5 million. If you could roll back time, what would you have done differently? I would have got all the players that have scored points. Yeah. That would be the main thing, I think. I would have got whatever team would make me #1 in the world right now. Without using chips. Actually, I would have triple captain Haaland. Sharda or Semenyo on wildcard. Semenyo's safer. The Sharda's a bit more fun, I think, just because of the fixtures. Semenyo does have Southampton at home, Leicester away in 6 and 7. Bench 1, Robinson versus Aina and Chris Wood or João Pedro. I'd bench Aina and Chris Wood's going to start, isn't he? João Pedro maybe not. I'll be tempted to start Chris Wood just because of the guaranteed start, I think. What I mean. Why don't you just do Saka to Bruno in game week 8 or 9? You don't have to start with him. That is true, but I might want to do like Saka to Foden or Saka to Son. Something like that. That is a potential option though. I'm not tied to Bruno Fernandes. Like, there is a chance I go without him, but I do also just quite like him. I don't know. 11 million people playing FPL now. It's a lot harder to get up them ranks. Yeah, for sure. But also, it's very early in the season, so don't panic just yet. Jackson, Solanke, or Welbeck just for this week. Solanke, are they all nailed? I think they'll all start. Quick one. Parler or Hargreaves? Hargreaves. Hargreaves is the player that England needed all along. Are you planning on transferring out Smith Rowe? Yes. On wildcard 6, yeah. Should I take a -4 to transfer Kovacic out for Rashford or Bruno or Garnacho or another midfielder? 7.7 in the back. Well, you can't get Bruno. I wouldn't... Minus Kovacic. Bench 1, Luka Dean, Robinson, Vardio. Honestly, I'd probably just bench Vardio and play Luka Dean and Vardio. Sorry, I'd probably not take the -4, bench Kovacic and play Vardio or Luka Dean. Sorry, and Luka Dean and bench Robinson. Madison or Son? Son, but obviously he's more expensive. What do you mean it will cost you 0.2 to get Haaland back? Well, if you got him at 15, he's gone up to 15.3, so you can sell him for 15.1, and then if you want to buy him back, he's going to cost you 15.3, which is 0.2 million more. Would you play Vardio over Porro? No chance. Oh, if I had Mbeumo in my squad, still no chance, I don't think. Like, because Mbeumo could score and so could Porro. Like, Porro, in my opinion, is like more, well, I think in most people's opinion, is more likely to score against Brentford than Vardio against Arsenal. There are times when I would just bench a player because I've got the attacker, but in the case of Pedro Porro, probably not. No Isaac news. Do I think Jackson will start? Yes. Although even he's a little bit of a worry with minutes now. But I think he starts, yeah. I think he's their main number 9 still. Where's the scrolling text? Got rid of it. I don't know. I kind of want it. I kind of think it was better, to be honest. But the problem is I can't make the FPL team any smaller on the screen. It just doesn't look right. There's not really anywhere to put a scrolling text, unfortunately. JL1, you remember? Thank you. On wildcard 6, can't choose between Raya and Burma, Havertz or Fleck and Saka. Would worry. You got a whole week to worry about it. I wouldn't spend the next hour and 18 minutes ahead of the game week 5 deadline worrying about 3 players on wildcard 6. You should have waited for wildcarded. Would have been should have waited for the wildcard. Would have been interesting to see you go different. I know. I might regret it. Honestly, my team for game week 6 was so good. Part of the reason that I went for it in the end was just to take the points for Salah right now. And he might blank, right? But on paper, the points are there. And also, my team would have looked good in 6. Like, really good, in my opinion. But then I would have needed to make a transfer in 7 and probably 8 as well. And I still wouldn't have had a third Arsenal player. It was just small things in the end, plus Salah. There really wasn't much more to it than that. It might be a mistake. It probably would have been a bit more interesting to go different. But it's done. So there's no point worrying about it now, even though I'll probably worry about it all day. Why so little talk about Chris Wood? I think Chris Wood is good. Yeah. Probably wouldn't buy him this week, but he's good from next week onwards. Isaac Miniz to Calvert-Lewin, Solanke. Already have Salah. No, I would just transfer one of them. Especially if you can bench one. Where is Isaac? Presumably in London. Is João Pedro going to start? Possibly. Alisson, no news. I will soon have 5 free transfers. Congratulations. Sounds good. Your loyalty to Bruno is going to cost you. Yeah, probably. Long term, would you go for Saka and Isaac or Haaland and Haaland? That's the other thing that kind of swayed me towards Salah. Is this is the last week for a long time where I think Salah is like this much better than Haaland for captain. Like, there are other weeks coming up where maybe you could argue Salah's slightly better than Haaland, but there's not much in it, and I'm happy to captain Haaland in most games. Just Arsenal kind of puts me off a little bit. Why don't you think of a hit in game week? I actually looked at taking a -4 instead of wildcarding, but it would have had to have been something like Calvert-Lewin and Salah in, then Salah to Saka and Robinson to Gabriel, but then I wouldn't have had in Burmo, and I would have had to take a -4. It was just, the wild card was just easier. And hopefully I can roll for a couple of game weeks afterwards, but who knows? How much do I think Messi would have cost in FPL? Well, knowing how FPL have priced players up until this year, probably about 10 million. No, I don't know, 12.5. Easily the same price as Haaland, of course, but they've only recently like bumped prices that much. Mendes to Calvert-Lewin or Vardy, and then -4. I wouldn't take a -4 for Isak to Watkins. I would just do Mendes to Vardy. Vardy, Eze, and Havertz to Vardy, Son, and Robertson. No, I probably wouldn't do that. 2 free transfers, raising money for Saka to Salah. Move Gordon or Jota to Rodgers or Palmer to Rashford. Will wildcard 6 and will you collaborate with the FPL Wire? Maybe one day, yeah. I don't like either of those moves, if I'm honest. I think Jota to Rodgers is probably better than Palmer to Rashford, though. Hard to imagine that Haaland was 11.5 million 2 seasons ago. And people like saying, well, it's the Bundesliga. He's not going to convert it. Captain Haaland, Palmer or Watkins. I'm going to say Palmer. Harwood, Bellis or Robinson. Harwood, Bellis. He's going to play. It's Ipswich at home. It's okay to play him in a game like that. Oh, I got yawn. Oh, I was up so early this morning. I woke up from a dream at like 6 a.m. and then after a few seconds I was like, oh, I'll just quickly check what price changes though. That was a mistake then. Don't go on your phone. Just go back to sleep. Stop jiggling in your leg. I can't. It's impossible. Will Haaland be over 100% effective ownership this weekend? Yeah, probably. Almost certainly, I would say. Excited like Christmas? Not really. Was I dreaming about winning FPL? No. Even in my dreams, I know that's not happening. No, I said I had a dream, then I woke up, and then I checked prices. The dream wasn't about prices. Or FPL. Here he is, Seb. Seb on golf. No doubt about to play golf. Sell Haaland and Winks to Solanke and Salah. Oof. Or Isak and Saka to Vardy and Salah. I mean, I'd probably prefer... I mean, the first move's quite nice, depending on how long you're going to be without Haaland for. If it's just a couple of weeks and you're going to wildcard soon, I think the first move is probably better. But if you haven't got any plans to get Haaland back, I would just do the Isak and Saka move, I think. Have 2 free transfers and a wildcard next week. Have Isak and João Pedro flagged and Jota possible rotation. For what it's worth, all 3 of those could start. Have Smith Rowe and Robinson on the bench. Nice. Should I make a transfer or roll? I'd probably roll, I think. If you've got someone you're happy to captain. Start 2 of Madueke, Minter and João Pedro. Oof, I don't know if Minter's going to start either. I would probably bench Minter out of those. Is Haaland the only viable Man City attacker right now on wildcard, so I'm preparing for when the fixtures improve? I mean, Foden could be an option if De Bruyne is out, but it sounds like De Bruyne is already close to being back, right? So, for me right now, it's probably just Haaland, but who knows? Could be Foden after this week. Would you take a -4 to get Salah? Got 3 Liverpool already. Depends how badly I need the captain. My gut instinct is probably not in that situation. Quick one. If Rodgers blanks, does he become a bad pick? No. As long as he keeps starting. Like, what do people want from... Well, obviously they want points, but like, he's 5 million. Like, I don't know. What was your decision, Calvert-Lewin versus Vardy? Calvert-Lewin looked like he might have gone up in price last night, and then he didn't, annoyingly. And he'd probably be on wildcard 6. Eze Henderson versus Bruno. This looks like one of those weeks. Oh no, I'm definitely playing Bruno. Don't care about Henderson. Start João Pedro, Semenyo, or Greaves. João Pedro, I think. Is now a good time to move Robinson on as the fixtures are not looking good? It's not a bad time, yeah. I don't think Robinson's great going forward. I said that last week or the week, or was it this week or last week when people were buying him? I think the time to buy Robinson was missed. Has been missed, I think. Do I think Lewis or Walker will start? I'm not sure. My initial feeling is that it'll be Lewis because he started every game so far. But it would not surprise me if Kyle Walker comes in. Because it's Arsenal. Rodgers is the number 10 for Aston Villa. He's got to get more points. If he gets 2 points all season, he might as well get Winks. Yeah, but what's the chance he gets 2 points every week? It's quite low, right? I just don't like the idea that if he blanks this week, then he's a bad pick. Like, it's just not how I see it. All I care about is he going to keep starting? If he is, he's a good pick. Whether he blanks this week or scores a hat-trick. Like, it's not ideal to keep blanking, I'll be honest, but that's not how I would decide if he's a good pick or not. Got João Pedro and Isak with no bench. Who to sell? I'd probably sell João Pedro, I guess, before Isak this week. Jonathan, thank you. Shane, new member, thank you very much. I mean, João Pedro bench Eze. No, not going to bench Eze. I think Eze's pretty great, generally. And he's playing Man United, so it might not be the worst fixture. Thoughts on Son or Trent captain? I'll very rarely pick the defender in those scenarios. Put it that way. Sneeze him. Leaving game week 6, which is a better window for wildcard? Well, it's going to depend on your team. 7, 8 people are looking at 12. Really depends. Why does Haaland only sell for 15.1 if he's up to 15.3? You only get 0.1 million sell value for every 0.2 million a player goes up. So once Haaland goes to 15.4, you'll then be able to sell him for 15.2. Am I going to get Raya on wildcard? Probably, because otherwise I'll feel like I've got to go Saliba and Gabriel, and I don't think I want to do that. Thoughts on an emotionally driven decision? Arsenal fan, and I don't think Haaland will score, thinking of wildcarding him out. It's up to you, yeah? I mean, you've got to do whatever works for you. I don't think Haaland will score either, but remember there are other games after Arsenal. Explain wildcard, I am a noob. Just lets you change your team. And then that team sticks going forward until you start making transfers. There's a lot of talk on Watkins, but what about Duran? My gut tells me he'll score. Your thoughts? My gut tells me he'll be benched again, and then he can't keep scoring off the bench. Have I locked in these transfers yet? That is my team on screen. If you've got Isak and João Pedro, you risk it and play them both, surely. It depends. Like, some people might be in a position where they've got the transfers to deal with it, but yeah, they could just both play. Bench Vardy or Gabriel? I think Gabriel from the two. I mean, I don't know. Like, Vardy's not completely now. I just don't see Walker right back, Lewis left back against Arsenal. I think Vardy starts. Yeah, I've answered the Calvert-Lewin question like a lot of times already. It looked like he might have gone up in price last night. That's why I bought him, essentially. Solanke or Isak for this week? Solanke. Any news on Allison? Nope. I don't even know if we've had any info about whether he trained or not, to be honest. I'm not seeing anything. Should we back the early kickoff in Chelsea assets this week? Who would you buy from Chelsea? I guess is the key question. Why aren't I transferring out Bruno for Luis Diaz? He's way better and will probably have a lot of minutes. Well, I mean, Slot did say that he intended to play Gakpo last week. It was just a bit of a fitness thing, so I don't think Luis Diaz is... Luis Diaz is not going to get more minutes than Bruno, that's for sure. But it's just not worth a transfer. It would cost me a hit at the moment now to do that. So, no interest whatsoever. People worry too much about Bruno Fernandes. You should be happy. If you think he's that bad, I'm one less competition for you. Enjoy it. Can you go from Bruno to Saka? I'm just going to wildcard next week. I can't afford that now. Are Chelsea players to be treated like City midfielders with regard to rotation minutes? It's not even just the minutes. I just don't think they're that. Maybe they are good value, I guess. Yeah, I got no interest. I mean, I could maybe talk myself into Foden if the circumstances were right. But that's similar with Chelsea midfielders. If certain players were injured, I'd probably talk myself into them as well. Menez to Calvert-Lewin or Isak to Watkins. I'd probably just sell Menez because he's definitely not starting, right? Captain Son, Solanke or Haaland and why? Probably Son, midfielder, not playing Arsenal. Mbeumo, Semenyo, Saka, Rodgers, Bowen, Vardy, Haaland, Watkins, wildcard 6. Nice. Start 2, Mbeumo, Eze, Pedro. When else to play Pedro? I don't know. Wolves at home in 9, Spurs at home maybe soon. I would bench João Pedro anyway out of those 3. Why, oh why? Should I captain Palmer? If you want to, yeah. Start João Pedro or Adama Traore? I would start João Pedro, I think. Ignore Salah and go Isak to Watkins to save the wildcard. Yeah, I don't mind that. Don't mind that too much. Do I kind of wish I'd thought about that myself a bit more? Yes, maybe. Because now I think about it, I could have done Isak to Watkins. I had the money. I could have captained Watkins. And then I could have taken a -4 in game week 6 to get Mbeumo, Gabriel. Oh, no, that wouldn't have worked. I'd have had to take a -8. No, it was still correct. I stopped worrying about what I could have done. Who am I against in the Sleeper League? I am against FPL Blackbox as a mark. And I'm a little bit worried they're going to beat me this week. I was confident, but I've got Isak. Isak's one of my star men, and he might not play. Hopefully he will, though. The nice thing is, on that draft, you can wait to see the lineup. So if Isak doesn't start, I've got the lap waiting on the bench. So we're all good. We're all good. Do I think Kwanzaa will start? I think it's more likely that he doesn't. But I also think if he's benched, he probably won't come on. Pros, cons of Saliba Gabriel versus Raya Gabriel. Well, you can get cheap goalkeepers. There's quite a few nice 4.5s like Flecken. The benefit of Raya and Gabriel, it's a little bit cheaper into the Arsenal defence. And it frees up a defender slot. And there's quite a few good defenders. So I will probably go Raya Gabriel, I think. Because I like João Pedro. I like Trent. There's good 4.5s. Start Semenyo or Greaves. Semenyo. Start Pedro or Welbeck. I think you've got to start Welbeck if you've got both. He should start. I don't think Ferguson's going to start just yet. Do we think João Pedro, by the way, has been in training? Like, I am a little bit tempted to do this and just hope for the best. But if João Pedro's bench, it's going to be annoying. I'm not sure what to make of Hurtzler. Is Trent slightly overrated, and would you replace him with Robertson or Konate if he's still starting? Honestly, the fact that I don't know, it's a tricky one. Like, Tsimikas starting in the Champions League makes me a little bit more worried about Robertson now. Even though I knew he wasn't ever going to start like 38 games this season. Konate, I don't think I can go there. I'm just not convinced that he'll stay fit. I think at some point he'll have to be rotated. Maybe this is the season that he just plays every game. I don't know. And if he does, he's great value. But I'm not fully convinced by that. By the way, I've just realised... Oh, did Gomez come on for Kwanzaa? No, who came on for... Konate got subbed on the 74th minute against Forest. Who came on for him? Not really sure. Who played centre-back for Liverpool? Gomez didn't play. And Kwanzaa didn't come on either. Who played centre-back? Gomez did. Why is it saying... Bradley came on? It says Gomez 0 minutes against Forest. Oh, 3 at the back. No, not in the Champions League. Not in the Champions League. Oh, Conor Bradley. Okay, yeah, they moved Trent forward. Okay, Van Dijk, Simicast, Bradley. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. Canate is like one of those annoying players where he is such good value. I've just always got those worries that he just won't start at some point or he'll get injured. But at 5.1, maybe it is worth the risk. Captain Salah, Watkins, or Saka. That's a super. Like Saka's playing Man City away. Like it's Salah for me by quite a way. Saka, Jota to Salah, Ahmad for free. Wildcard 6. I'd be tempted-ish by that, yeah. For the captain. You could just captain Jota, but I guess there are some minutes concerns. Am I going to make videos about Champions League fantasy? Probably unlikely. Like, if I was going to do that, I would have done it before match day 1. Start Sharda or Rodgers? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to say Rodgers, just for the fixture. Do I go for morning walks? Yes, most days. Yeah, did 5k this morning. Can you give me a quick shout on your opinion about Timber? Would you go there? Probably not. I just think Calafiori is an issue. Why didn't you go for the save wildcard route? It looked good. It did, yeah. Like I said, it was a close call. I just decided I wanted to get Salah. Chiesa will come in around the 70th minute for Salah. I really hope he doesn't. I mean, Chiesa's played 1 minute so far. That will be an absolute killer. If that happens again, massive regret getting Salah. Oh, I hate it already. If I could go back now, would I not get Salah? Possibly. Newcastle defender, 0 interest. Are Everton players a must? No. Vardio or Harwood Bellis, Semenyo or João Pedro? João Pedro, and I'm going to say Harwood Bellis just because of the fixture. Diaz or Jota? My thinking is that Darwin Nunez is less of a threat to Jota right now than Gakpo is to Diaz. But I think that this week, I think Diaz definitely starts. I'd be less sure about Jota. The thing is, I think Diaz starts because Gakpo started in the Champions League, but it won't necessarily work like that. If Slot thinks the Gakpo is the better option, he could just start. I'll say Diaz this week, maybe Jota slightly longer term, but it's so difficult to know for sure. If you play João Pedro and he doesn't play, Smith Rowe on your bench will give you points. Yes, but of course, João Pedro could be benched and then come on for like a 1-pointer. Would you sell Eze or Jota for Mbermo this week? Plan to buy next week anyway. No, I don't think so. I think I'd wait. I mean, Mbermo, I think Jota with Bournemouth at home, you've got to keep. Like in Burma, you could maybe argue is slightly better than Eze this week because of penalties, but I really don't think there's much in it because Eze's at home. So I think I'd just wait. Which two would you start out of? Menez, João Pedro, Minter, Gabriel Grease? I'd probably start João Pedro and I think I'd risk Minter. Captain Son or Watkins? Ooh, close one. Flip a coin maybe. Son because he's a midfielder, probably better minutes. Konza, Davis, Rodgers. Oh, bench one. That's Leaf Davis, presumably. Probably Konza. Go for the attacker against Southampton. Why not? It's the attacking defender, I mean. Who to bench? Smith Rowe, Gordon, or Calvert-Lewin? I mean, if Isak doesn't play, Gordon will probably play up front. I'd bench Smith Rowe out of them. Saliba or Robinson, if so, why? Saliba if you don't own Haaland. Haaland if you do. Sorry, Robinson if you do. Random question, but for example, if Eze won a penalty and then scored it, does he get an FPL assist and a goal? No, just a goal. You only get an assist if you're not the penalty taker. They probably should change it to... So instead of getting 3 for an assist for a penalty, you should probably just get 2 for winning it, whether it's scored or not. I mean, I don't think that would make FPL an amazingly better game, but it's probably an okay change. Isak to Solanke, worth it, wildcard next week. I quite like that 1 week punt, yeah. Can't believe you've got Bruno and now you've got Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, I know. Terrible. Is Madueke a hold going forward if I decide not to wildcard? I guess while he's starting, yeah. You're always going to... The fact that you're asking me means you're always going to have this worry about him. The fixtures are okay, though. Start Saliba, Greaves or Robinson. No Haaland, Saliba, I think. Am I not tempted to play your wildcard before the deadline? No. What would I wildcard for? Do I remember what the cost of Ronaldo was in FPL when he played for the second time at Man United? I don't, to be honest. I want to say 10 or 10.5. Disagree. You don't get points for putting on a plate for a strike and they miss. Yeah, fair enough. I'm really not going to die on the hill with it. If they don't change it, that's fine. I have 2 free transfers. Is it worth saving the free transfer? Wildcard is next week. If you don't need to make any moves, yes, definitely worth saving. Isak, Vardy to Trent, Calvert-Lewin this week. Game week 6 wildcard. No, I'd probably just hold. Who wins the most penalties? I don't think it's really that predictable, to be honest. Start Saka or Ahmad this week. Ooh, I'd be tempted to start Ahmad if you got him. But Saka is going to start for sure. He's on penalties. Vardy or Calvert-Lewin for a 1-week punt. I'm going to say Vardy. Wildcard, João Pedro or Vardy to fill the 3rd spot. I think João Pedro is probably a better long-term option. Robinson or Colwill this week. Robinson. It's quite close, but Robinson. Do I think Gakpo will start? Probably not. Chris doesn't think Ahmad will start. I think there's a pretty good chance he does, but I guess there's some risk there. The fact that he didn't start midweek helps. Why'd you go Calvert-Lewin instead of Solanke? Money. Schlanke is unfortunately more expensive. Otherwise, I would have definitely gone there. Just couldn't afford it. By the way, I'm going to do the draw for the Sleeper Game Week 4 Pick'em winners. There was loads of people that got 8 predictions right last week. Madness. 8 predictions. I think I got like 3 or 4. It's done. Salah is in. Nice. Nice. Oops. Salah, Vardy or Watkins, McNeil wildcard next week. The one with Salah. Play Ahmad, Smith-Rowe or Robinson this week. Smith-Rowe, then Ahmad, I think. Is Isak starting? No idea. You're probably not going to get any info ahead of the deadline. Start 2 as João Pedro, Meniz, Lewis Hall, Gibbs White. I'd start João Pedro and Gibbs White, I think. Should I put on Dan Burn or Smith-Rowe? Smith-Rowe. Jeez, Ben loves using the laughing emojis this morning. Bruno has gone down to 8.3. That is correct. Could Kwanzaa start? Would you start him over Konza? No, wouldn't start him over Konza. He could start, but I don't know. Not that likely. Who is most likely to start, Jota or Diaz? Diaz, I guess, would be my bet this week. Please answer and stop ignoring. No, now you've said that, I'm definitely going to keep ignoring. Start Anana or João Pedro? João Pedro. I don't think Anana is that great of an option, to be honest. Palmer or Diaz? Palmer. Sell Isak to Solanke before wildcard 6 with Armstrong as the best bench player. Yeah, probably would do that. Will Nkunku start? Probably not. Start Leif Davis or Fass? I start Leif Davis, I think. And it's a tricky one because Fass is at home, but I'd start the more attacking defender because he's playing Southampton. I know it's away. Solanke, cheeky captain. Don't mind it. If you're going to say, like, team news, you're going to have to put a link, otherwise I'm just going to ignore it. Start Rico Lewis or Konza. I think I would start Konza because I'd be a little bit worried about Rico Lewis not starting. Start one of Robinson, Lewis, or Greaves. I don't know. Greaves probably. I'm not 100% sure about that one, to be honest. It's quite a tight call. When I wildcard 6, how is it best to gain team value? Take out players that are going to drop in price that you might want and put players in that are going up in price, basically. Bruno is going to break FPL rules and drop in price 4 times in the next week. He probably won't drop again for ages now, to be honest. Dallo or Kanate? From Game Week 8, I really like Dallo. I guess for the next few, Kanate. Yeah, I've answered the Calvert-Lewin and Vardy questions so many times. Yeah, I've answered it a lot now. If you want to get, if you're going to buy right now, I'd go Vardy. Put it that way. It's a pretty close decision. It's probably not one worth spending too much time thinking about. I would definitely wildcard instead of taking a -8. Bench Jota or Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe for sure. Bruno Fernandes captain over Jota or Haaland. The thought did cross my mind when I thought I might not get Salah, but I'd probably go Haaland. Is Luka Dean going to start? He played Champions League midweek. I mean, that is the problem, right? We can't be sure, but presumably he will. He's definitely first choice at the moment. Best captain, Salah, Palmer, what Salah? Start Robinson or Aina? Robinson. The transfers I made are in the bottom right. Lots of Calvert-Lewin chat, but how come Jackson's overlooked? Money, probably, for the most part. Calvert-Lewin's just a lot cheaper. I think Jackson's actually all right as an option. No, 0 plans for Champions League fantasy video. It's not happening. I'll just say that. Play 2 of Veltman, Saliba, Rico Lewis, or Aina. Veltman? You always have these weird players. I would start Veltman, though, to be honest. It's a good job you got him. And then I'm going to say Saliba from the rest. Pin your Vardy Calvert-Lewin answer in live chat. People won't look at it, though. Bench 2 of Trent, Konza, Rico. Come on. I can't. You can't ask questions like that. You're never going to bench Trent, right? You're not going to bench him. So you can't put him in the list. Like, you've got Trent, Robinson, and Ben Johnson. I would probably play the first 3 for what it's worth. My own things, new member, thank you. Something tells me that Song captain is the one over Haaland. You could go there, yeah. Better fixture for sure. Triple captain Salah thoughts? Nah, I wouldn't do it, to be honest. I mean, it's not terrible, but I think there'll be better opportunities later on. Start 2, Rodgers, Wood, Smith Rowe. I'd maybe be tempted to bench Wood out of those. Is Mikalenko playing? Probably. Start Isak Meniz or both and bench Robinson. I'd start Isak and Robinson. Score prediction for Man City versus Arsenal. 1-0 City. No leaks today. There might be, but they wouldn't be until later anyway. Yeah, Kanate, I've already spoken about him. Potential option as long as he keeps playing, but I'd just be a little bit worried about his injury record and whether he can keep playing midweek, weekend, midweek so often. Ahmed, thank you. No De Bruyne, no Pi, but De Bruyne might be fine. We'll have to see. Your thoughts on Pep saying that he will use substitutions at half-time more often? I don't know if Pep was massively serious when he said that. He said something like it's a new Pep Guardiola or something, didn't he? It could happen. Have 3 Arsenal and Haaland. No Salah free hit. No, I wouldn't free hit. The biggest con for free hitting is it'll be massively useful for you later on. Like, it's not. I get why people are thinking about it, especially if you've got 3 Arsenal and Haaland. I promise you that it'll be more useful later on. You mentioned earlier that you'd start Konza over Lewis. Don't you think that Lewis is more attacking than started? Yeah, he is more attacking for sure. And he has started every game. If you're confident Lewis starts, you could make a case to start him over Konza. Saka to Salah funded by Isak to Vardy. Yes. Yeah, lots of people doing that. Should I get Vardy or Watkins? I mean, Watkins if you can afford it. For sure. Start Eze or Minter. Eze. Pretty easy, I think. So Isak to João Pedro or keep Isak? No, I would definitely just keep Isak. You're just selling one flag player for another one otherwise. When wildcarding, do you make the transfers before hitting the button later in the week to benefit from? Yeah. If you're absolutely sure you're going to play it, you should hit the wildcard. Who to bench? Howard Bellis or Lewis? I'd be tempted to play Howard Lewis. Smith Rowe Eze. I'm playing. 2-2 City and Arsenal. I just don't see that many goals in it. A Haaland, Hall and Salah blank would be classic FPL. Yeah, it can happen for sure. Jota Saka to Barnes Salah. I have Diaz and Haaland. I'd be tempted not to sell my Liverpool players this week, to be honest. Like, it's okay, but I'm not sure I would do it. Am I triple captain in Salah? No, definitely not. I think I'd rather triple captain Haaland against Southampton at home in game week 9. Salah hit the bar twice in the Champions League, yes. He also blanked in a 9-0 against Bournemouth before. And I think, I could be wrong, I think that was around the time when everyone was on Captain Haaland. I was still trying to captain Salah, and it didn't go right. And now all of a sudden, it's okay to captain Salah. Not all of a sudden, it was like seasons ago, but it's okay to captain Salah again. Salah played 90 minutes in the Champions League and isn't exactly on his best form. Yeah, I think we need to be a bit careful. Like, every time someone says that, something like that to me, my question always is, when does form start and when does it end? Because we're talking about a guy that scored 17 points against Man United in game week 3. So are we now saying because he's blanked against Forest and AC Milan that he's not an option anymore? Like, when does form start and when does it end? And I ask that question because no one ever has a good answer for it, and therefore we should probably just ignore form for the most part. Archer, Smith Rowe, Saliba, who to start? Archer. If you can only start one, I'd probably start Smith Rowe, but I'd be tempted to play Archer if you're playing 2. Alex, 23 months. Did Isak Slanky yesterday need one of Minis or Hall to start? Which one would you start? Lewis Hall, I guess. I'd go back in time and keep Isak. I wouldn't wildcard now, I don't think. I'd probably just chance it. Which Chelsea player is most likely to start other than Palmer? Jackson, I would say. Veltman is the highest scoring 4.5 defender, cheapest way into the Brighton defence. Bonus points magnet. Nice. He's not the cheapest, but get your point. Kadioglu might play at some point. Maybe. But yeah, you're looking good right now. Aina and a 4 million defender bench or Porro and 4.5 defender on wildcard game week 5. Porro, I think. Not passing the eye test as easily as he once did. The thing is, right, I've just got to ignore comments like that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but after game week 1, when when Salah played Ipswich, all I can remember is a comment, and I didn't have Salah saying Salah looks like he's going to be back to his best, one of the best players in the world this season after he got 14 points against Ipswich. And now we're saying that he hasn't looked great because of 2 black. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I've just got to ignore comments like that and just go with the fixture. To be honest with you, like, Salah is still a great player. Like, he scored 3 goals, got 3 assists in 4 games. Like, people are just too extreme in how they change their opinions, I think. Sometimes. I'm not saying you're doing that, but I mean in general from the comments I get. No, yeah, it was AC Milan, wasn't it? Because City played Inter. Yeah, it is a bit of an overreaction, I think. Like, he goes from, like, he scores 14 points, he's like the best player. You have to have him, like, he's absolutely essential. And now he's blanked twice, including a game in Europe where he's hit the bar twice. Who to start this week? Semenyo or João Pedro? I'd probably start João Pedro and hope for the best. People always chase the previous weekend's results. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm 1.9 million. So, like, who am I to say anything, you know? But hopefully, by the end of the season, these kind of decisions will work out. Hope the commentator. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have Salah, I'd also hope that they were right, that he was massively out of form. And I'd also hope that the person earlier that said that Chiesa is going to come on in the 70th minute for Salah is right. But now I'm hoping they're all wrong. I just wish I'd had the cojones to go without him, but I didn't. Calvert-Lewin versus Vardy. I thought Calvert-Lewin was going to go up in price last night. I thought there was a chance. That's why. That's it. I'm not answering the Calvert-Lewin Vardy question again. That's like the 50th time in this stream. Is there Chelsea news? No, not that I've seen anyway. Would you start Elanga over Meniz? I'm just checking now. Elanga, the problem with him and Hudson-Odoi is you can't be 100% sure they're going to start. I don't think either of them are going to start, to be honest with you. So maybe, yes, I'll just start Elanga just in case, but... I know it's a deadline stream, so there's lots of questions get asked the same, but I like the Calvert-Lewin and Vardy one. I feel like I've answered it like 1,000 times today. Duran, no interest whatsoever until he starts starting. Will I hit the wildcard button today? Yes, but I'll probably wait until all the games are finished first. Apparently I've only answered it 11 times. How come I got Rodgers over Ahmad? I thought he was good. Turns out I was wrong. I actually got the minutes wrong on Amad Diallo, basically. I thought Garnacho was going to come in early. We want 12. We want 12. Why is everyone selling Vardio? Pictures are good from 6 or 7. I guess the benching didn't help, right? Someone go back and watch the whole stream and ask and check how many times I've answered that question. I'll answer it every 10 minutes, starting on 30 minutes left until the deadline. Fernandes has 34 yellow cards over the last 6 seasons. What's that, like just over 5 a season? Is that much? Don't think it is. Man, people really don't like Bruno Fernandes if they're checking his yellow card record over the last 6 seasons. How many goals and assists he got in that time? Quite a few, right? Almost like 1 in 2. Welbeck or Adama, who should I start? Welbeck for sure. Welbeck for sure. It's going crazy. Ooh. A brat. Wow, what a weird... what an old school way to describe someone. I love Bruno as a pick this week. You might be the only one. You might be the only one. I mean, I don't mind him either. I'm a little bit worried that Isak's going to start and absolutely destroy me. Captain Haaland, Watkins, Solanke, Bruno, or Trent Haaland. I mean, you could go Watkins maybe because of the fixture. If I was on wildcard this week, what would your team look like? Very similar to wildcard 6, but I'd probably go Salah and Watkins over Haaland and Saka and then transfer them back in. Watching me from Tanzania? Nice. What faraway places are people watching from? What one player would you bring in for Game Week 5, not Salah? Palmer or Son, probably. One free transfer and wildcard in 6. Saka to Son or Isak to Solanke. Saka to Son, I think. Hong Kong. Oh wow, I'm never going to be able to read all these comments now. Bournemouth, nice. Nice. That is a exotic part of the world. Banbury, Oxfordshire. English place names they just sound funny sometimes. They're just so English, which I guess makes sense, right? Thoughts on Vardy to Porro? I think it looks good this week, but it's not so great in kind of 6, 7, and 8. Bermuda, Scotland, Wrexham. Wallingham. Never even heard of that, to be honest with you. Malaga. Living the dream. How secure am I on Lewis starting for City? Not massively, to be honest. I've missed a super chat, apparently. That is possible. Bench 2. Vardy, Gabriel, Fass, Harwood, Bellis. I'd probably play Vardy and Harwood, Bellis. Raya and a 4.5 million defender, maybe Forest or Brentford versus Sells and Porro. I'd probably just get the Arsenal defender. So Raya. One free transfer and wild. Oh no, I did that one. Wood or Mateta, wild card in 6 or 7. Mateta, I think. Hanoi. I'm not completely sure about João Pedro versus Smith Rowe, to be honest. Part of me thinks I should go Smith Rowe because he's definitely going to start. João Pedro is probably better if he does start, but he might not. Menez to Vardy or roll and play Winks. I would. You know my thoughts on that. You know my thoughts on that one. Havertz a good shout instead of Isak. Not this week, I don't think. I feel like this is such a meh game week, something we need to get through before we wildcard 6. I feel like that in general because of the situation, but I think actually my team looks pretty good this week. I'm quite happy with it. I was also thinking as well, if I hadn't started with one of Kwanzaa or Nkunku, I would have had an extra transfer last week and I would have just got Salah then, and then I'd definitely be locked in for wildcard 6. So I'm only more worried about it because I made the move this week. Normally watch from Barbados, but on holiday in London. And on to the Palace United are today. Oh, you're going to Palace United? Nice. Or are you going to Buckingham Palace and watching Man United? Isak, Smith Rowe, Pedro, Rogers, which one to bench? João Pedro or Smith Rowe? One of those two. Depending on whether you think João Pedro is going to start. I don't know. Like, is João Pedro that much better if he starts? Like, is it worth the risk? That's what I'm not sure about. Smith Rowe, have it. Smith Rowe. No leaks. No leaks that I've seen anyway. I've not really been checking Twitter that much. I mean, what leaks are people hoping to get? Like, you're not probably going to get anything from the 3 p.m, so it'd have to be West Ham versus Chelsea. Is it time for the Calvert-Lewin over Vardy question? No, I'm going to do it on 30 minutes. You got three minutes left, and I'll tell you why. Transferring Rashford or Van Dijk? Who are you selling? I'm going to say Rashford, but it depends who you're selling. Even with Salah, your team doesn't need a wild card. Debatable. I kind of want Arsenal players, you know. Stop playing FPL or keep playing? Probably better to stop playing. Does 98% for Haaland mean he's going to rise in price before next game week? Yeah, well, yes, probably, but he's probably not at 98% right now. I don't think there is that much Rashford hype, to be fair. You just know Smith Rowe will outscore Rodgers again. Possibly, yeah. I do like Rodgers' fixture. Am I swapping out Sat? I'm probably going to wildcard next week. Mage, Priest, or Hunter? Do you know what, actually? I was going to main Resto Shaman, but I've been playing my Mage a lot because they're just so good in Delves, like Frost Mage. It's like 600 eye level at the moment. Fantasy Football Hub said play Greaves over Matt's Rari. What do you think? I would do that, yeah. Be honest, are you sick of FPL? Nope, don't think so. 1 week punt for Menez, Calvert-Lewin, Wood, Vardy, or Solanke? Solanke. I'd probably go Solanke, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, Wood in that order. McNeil for Smith Rowe for -4. Leaves 0.3 for Eze to Mbermo. I wouldn't take a -4, no, don't think so. Plan is to my plan is to wildcard in 6, load up on a team that are always going to start, and then just roll for 5 weeks in a row. It'll be as easy as that, I'm sure. Rashford for Eze or Vardy. Rashford for Eze or Van Dijk for Vardy. Wildcard next week. I'd probably get Van Dijk in that case. Is Eze to Rashford a move? I mean, it might be, but I wouldn't do it this week. I think Man United's good fixtures are probably game week 8 onwards. Field 2 of Mikalenko, Pau, Robinson, Moreno. Ooh. Pau Torres, I think. And then I'd probably go Moreno and risk it for the attacking returns. Start Greaves or Gabriel, 12 months, Griffith. Probably Gabriel. If you've got Haaland, I'd be tempted to go Greaves, though. Does my wildcard 6 team include Bruno? It might do, yeah. Might do. My mate has already used all his chips and is top of our mini league by a long way. Now he's got to stay there, though. That's the problem. 1 week punt, Rashford, Schmodics. I'm always going to say the Man United player. Not always, most of the time. Davis, Kadioglu. Kadioglu, I'm not sure if he's definitely going to start, so I'll say Davis. I think Kadioglu could be really good when he gets into that Brighton team. Like if he's nailed. I mean, he might start, but about to bring in. Did he start last week actually, or did he come off the bench? Let me check. Can't remember now. No, he came off the bench. Maybe he starts. About to bring in Luca Dean. Good luck. Good luck. -4. Manir Vardy or bench in play Robinson. I wouldn't take a -4 for that. Diaz captain. It's okay, but I just worry about captain and players that could get hooked at like 60 minutes. Is Greaves still the best 4 million defender? He's probably one of the best. I think Mosquera from game week 10 onwards could be decent. Palmer 20 points loading. I mean, it would be a good reminder that Palmer is quite good, because I think people have forgotten that. Although I don't want him to return, so I don't own him. Semenyo will take the risk that João Pedro might get 1 point. I'd probably play João Pedro in that case. Do I think Rutter will become a viable option? Not sure. Okay, why did I buy Calvert-Lewin over Vardy? Because Calvert-Lewin will probably be on my wildcard 6, and there was a chance that he was going to go up in price last night. That is it. Who'd start? Eze, Smith Rowe, João Pedro. Eze. Out of those. You're too obsessed with saving transfers. Maximum you should save is probably about 4 or 3. So almost the maximum amount of transfers then, 4. Only 1 off 5. Would you start Gordon or Smith Rowe? Gordon probably. Fantasy Football House says Wood for Ezat, but I'm thinking Calvert-Lewin. Which one? I wouldn't get Wood for a 1 week punt. I think Wood is probably the better longer. Well, not better, but he's a good long-term option. By Calvert-Lewin or Watkins, not wildcarding soon. I mean, look, it's going to depend on what your future moves are. I think Calvert-Lewin enables, like, Calvert-Lewin's cheaper basically. So is that money going to be useful? That's what you need to think about. I would probably go the Calvert-Lewin route because that's what I'll probably do on wildcard. But obviously Watkins is great the next couple. Who to captain? Salah, Vardy or Watkins? Salah. Would João Pedro, Robinson start 2? I'd bench Robinson. If I'm definitely going to hit the wildcard game week 6, should I do it today? Yes, you should get players in that are going to rise in price so you don't get priced out. Why don't you have a ticket? I know I said this earlier. It's just another thing I answered earlier, but I get it, right? It's a 2-hour stream. There's going to be repeat questions. I have to have, like, the slight tweak with the stream is that the FPL team takes up more space and there's no way to really make it smaller. So that's why. So I can't have the bar across the bottom. Start João Pedro or Rogers? Rogers, I think. Andrew Member for 32 months. No Salah for me. Punt on Trent as captain. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah. How about Madueke to Dwight McNeil? I don't mind it, but I would just keep Madueke this week. You're on TV in South Africa on the FPL show. Nice, nice. Cole Palmer, Harden, or Diogo Jota captain? I go Palmer. Do I like Vardy as an option? Yes. What do you think about Alisson to Muric for game week 5 going for wildcard 6? I'd be tempted just to hold Alisson and hope and just save the transfer. It's a tricky one. He might miss out. He might just not risk him in a fixture like this. Like if we knew for sure that Alisson was out, I'd sell him, but maybe. I don't know about buying Muric though. Isak, we don't know is the honest answer. I think he'll start, though. Can't understand why are people burning a transfer before wildcarding they roll over. I don't think people are burning them. They're just trying to get players like Salah, right? And they got injury doubts as well. Like, if you can, it's great to roll transfers through wildcard, but they're still useful beforehand. Start Garnacho or Robinson? Garnacho, I think. Yeah, I don't think Robinson will get a clean sheet. Am I mad for sticking with Brereton Diaz for the Ipswich game? No, I don't think so. It's a good fixture. Would you make your same transfers but on a -4? Probably not. Isak to Watkins or João Pedro to Vardy for free. I'd probably do the João Pedro move. Vardio and Isak to Conjure and Watkins -4. Probably wouldn't do that, no. Bruno and Isak to Salah and a 4.5 forward, or just not get Salah. Can do Bruno and Gordon to Salah and 4.5 mid. If it's like a short-term move, and then your wildcard, I'm saying I don't mind that, no. The Bruno and Isak. Get Stewart from Southampton. He might even get some minutes. Vardy for captain. Haaland plays Spurs. No, I don't think I would go as far as to captain Vardy over Haaland. Second Arsenal defender for game week 6 after Gabriel. Raya or Saliba, probably. I wouldn't spend the extra for Ben White, and I wouldn't take the risk on Timber. Start Gay or Hall. Any leaks on Isak starting? No leaks. I guess Lewis Hall might start after starting the last game. And Fulham away is probably better, but it's not a guarantee. I would just probably play Gay. Konza and Rogers start. Smith Rowe on the bench or swap one. I would play Smith Rowe over Konza if you can. Leaf Davis option for the next few weeks. Luca Dean to Davis. I wouldn't sell Luca Dean, but yes, Leaf Davis is an option. If I activate my wildcard after lockdown, will it protect me from price rises? Yeah, you can get players in that are going to rise in price. Surprised you burned your transfers. I wouldn't be that surprised. I got Salah, right? Son Watkins captain. Wolves concede, but minutes risk. I mean, Watkins may get good minutes again like he did last week. I think he's fine to captain. Gabriel or Robinson? Gabriel. Has triple Arsenal defence crossed your mind on wildcard 6? There's no chance I will go triple Arsenal defence. I don't think many people will, to be honest. I just wouldn't want to lock myself out of Saka. Simple as that. And Arsenal defence is probably the best out there, but there are still other good defenders. I think João Pedro starts. I think it's more likely he gets benched, but I really don't know. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Probably sat here, talking about why I've still got Bruno Fernandes in my team. Should I play Robinson or Rico Lewis? I'd probably play Rico Lewis out of the two. Fonzie, thank you. Or Fonzie. No Allison, according to FPL Focal. Has he tweeted that? Was he just saying it on his deadline stream? I don't know, he's not talking about. Spice bag or doner kebab? Ooh, close call that. I have to sit on the fence. Any chance De Bruyne starts? I think there is a chance based on what Pep said, but I don't know. Lots of people are going to wildcard in 6. Yeah, to be fair, a lot of people talked about wildcard 6 before during pre-season, so it's not like a new thing really. Best hangover cure: don't drink alcohol. It's proven to work. Konza, Saliba, or Lewis to start? Konza for me, I think. Is there any info on Madueke? Nope. Not that I've seen. Have I played FC 25? Nope. Don't think I'm going to bother this year, to be honest. What do I think of Isak to Jackson? I would just keep Isak. Isak for Calvert-Lewin or roll. You've already got Salah. I'd probably just roll. So jealous. I'm so jealous. Would you bench Fass or Saka? Probably Fass. Do I think Van der Berg will become nailed? I think it's possible, but I'm not sure it's. I'm not sure it's as simple as they spent 25 million, therefore he's going to be nailed. I'm not sure that's the case. Saka to Salah, Isak to Calvert-Lewin with Kwanzaa to Luka Dean -4. Wildcard 6. Have to get rid of Kwanzaa as Trent and Jota already. I'm not convinced that's worth a -4. There's probably a better way to do it, but it's not bad either. Yeah, fair enough. The bench is pretty bad. Or go with Isak to Watkins and start Robinson. Like, Salah is good, but I'm not convinced that's worth a -4. I'd be tempted just to do the Isak to Watkins move. Got 4 free transfers. Roll and plan the mini wildcard game week 6. Or make 3 changes this week to get a third Liverpool. Isak. I'd probably just roll, I think. That's for Ngen Kin Slaviv Kook. I probably said that completely wrong. I apologise. 1 minute to go for the Vardy Calvert-Lewin question again. I'm a bit confused. If you have 3 free transfers, use 2 free transfers and then wildcard, would you have 2 the next week or just 1? You have as many... After wildcard, you have as many transfers as before you wildcarded. So if you go into game week 6 with 3 free transfers and you wildcard, you'll have 3 free transfers in game week 7. Brentford paid 23 million for Collins, so definitely not that simple. Yeah, and Pinnock's been pretty good. I won't say that I've watched Brentford in depth this season, but generally Pinnock's been pretty good for them as well. I know like he wasn't great against Haaland for I think it was the second goal, but like that's Erling Haaland, right? You're not going to bench him just because of that. Who to bench from Ahmad, Eze, Nketiah, João Pedro? Probably Ahmad from them, I think. There'd be a bit of temptation to play Ahmad over João Pedro, but no, you don't lose a transfer. If you have 3 going into the game week, you have 3 afterwards. Well, you're not losing one. You just don't gain another one. No, you have the same. However many you have going into the wildcard, you have the same afterwards. When I wildcard on 6, I have 1 free transfer. In game week 7, I should have 2. No, you have 1. The rules aren't now that you gain a transfer out of wildcard. The rules are that you can roll the transfers through that you have. You still don't get an extra transfer out to wildcard. So if I have 1 transfer and plan to wildcard... So if I have 1 transfer and plan to wildcard in 6, should I do a punt? No, because you'll have 2 in game week 6, so therefore you'll have 2 in game week 7. Again, however many you have going into the game week is how many you have afterwards. So if you open up the FPL page after the game week 5 deadline and it says you've got 2 free transfers, you'll then have 2 in game week 7 if you wildcard in 6. Who to captain out of Salah? Is it wrong to captain Haaland this week? No. What do you think about Diaz as captain as alternative? Don't particularly like it that much. Would I start Robinson over Saliba and João Pedro over Havertz? I'd probably start João Pedro and Saliba, I think. Jordan, thank you. Solanke or Isak to Calvert-Lewin? I'm short 1.6. I'd sell Isak before Solanke, I think. I think people were serious about those questions about wildcard. Possibly not, but Konza or Walker Peters and in Burma are good. In Burma's a good option, yeah. Konza or Walker Peters. I'd be tempted to go Walker Peters this week. No, Adam, I cannot do that. Reasoning to start Smith Rowe over João Pedro, because Smith Rowe will definitely start, and João Pedro I'm not sure about. I don't know if someone can convince me. If someone can convince me that João Pedro is going to start, I'll happily start him over Smith Rowe. I understood. I rolled game week 6 transfer into 7 if I wild, but you don't get a transfer if you wildcard. Who should I get for Isak? Depends on how much money you got. Solanke, Watkins, probably the top 2. Any 1 week punt suggestions? I don't know if I have any. Palmer, he's not a punt though, is he? Neither's Diaz or Jota. Genuine punts for this week only. Brereton Diaz against Ipswich. Why not? Is the vice captain button really needed, as it isn't really thought about? Do you not? You must think about it, right? I changed my vice captain. At this point, rather than answer wildcard transfer question, I'd rather go back to Cavalier versus Vardy, please. If I have 2 free transfers this week, can I just use 1 and save the other for next week? Yes, you can. Yeah. 5 is the maximum amount you can have now. I've not seen any leaks, no. To be honest with you. Will I keep Smith Rowe on my wildcard? No chance. He's a good option still, but 0 chance I'll have him on wildcard. Right, no one's convinced me that João Pedro is going to start. Randy and C and J Master J. He has been training. That's the key thing. Alex, I'm not sure what more you want me to say. I've explained it now. Thoughts on Adam Armstrong? Didn't start for United. Yeah, probably not going to start again. Trent captain instead of Haaland? I wouldn't, but it's definitely an alternative. Isak replacement for this game week only. Solanke or Watkins, probably the top 2. Watkins if you can afford it, if not Solanke. I've been doing a shot each time Andy says, to be honest with you, now I can barely see. That's not a good drinking game, that. Where are the leaks? What leaks do people want? Anyone got any news? I need someone send me a DM with information about Brighton's lineup, please. Start Dunk or Robinson. Definitely Dunk. No questions. Yeah, you're not likely to get leaks for 3 PM games that often. So honestly, I would just go and enjoy your weekend. And Nkunku, yeah, we might get Nkunku leaks. For people that use the transfer, then wildcarded in the same game, you get that transfer back. Yes, correct. Well, yeah, it cancels any hits and stuff. It's like you didn't make any transfers in the first place. 3 free transfers, wildcard up. Saka, Isak, Salah. Saka, Isak, Salah, or Isak to Watkins. I'd probably get Salah, I think. All right, we've got just over 12 minutes to the deadline. Forest is strong defensively, so João Pedro is not worth the headache. But I don't think they're that much better than Newcastle. I don't think Smith Rowe is that much better against Newcastle than João Pedro against Forest. Bear in mind that João Pedro also on penalties. What's my biggest surprise so far in this season? That Fernandes only has 1 assist. Biggest surprise. JSY, have a good weekend. Thank you. You too. Gabriella Robinson, Gabrielle. Oh, Luke's messaged me. He said you should this is the wildcard thing again. He said you should explain it that using a wildcard is using your free transfer for that week. There you go. I'm going to say to Luke, do you think João Pedro... Actually, no, he might not be watching anymore. Do you think João Pedro will start? Let's see what he says. If Luke says I should start João Pedro over Smith Rowe, I might do it. And then I can just blame it on him. I'll leave him a voice note tomorrow morning when I'm walking. He is watching still. He's watching right now. Jota starts according to... Let's have a look. Luke says he thinks he might. He thinks João Pedro might start. I'm not sure. I've never heard of that account before. They might have info. I can't verify it right now. Luke is starting João Pedro over Smith Rowe. Oh, I'm tempted to do it now then. Luke's a better FPL manager than me. In fact, actually, me, Luke, and Praz might do something on Wildcard 6 this week. Maybe not necessarily on YouTube. We might do like a Twitter space or something. I don't know if it's better or worse that Smith Rowe plays today, because if Smith Rowe smashes it today, that's just going to be a killer wait for tomorrow. I don't know if it's better or worse. I guess it depends whether he blanks or not. If he blanks, it's great. -4 for Isak to Vardy, Saka to Salah, and Kwanzaa to Greaves, or another 4 defender. I have to take the -4. I've already got Trent and Jota. I guess it depends. If you've got another captain that you're happy with, I wouldn't take the hit. If you really just want Salah, I think it's okay. When I said Luke's a better FPL manager than me, he said that's definitely true. Predicted lineup from OneFootball. I'm not sure they would have the lineup though. Yeah, it's just predicted, isn't it? Most people are going to predict no João Pedro because that makes the most sense. I've not wildcarded this week, probably next week. And so far, thank you. Got Visser on my wildcard last week, paying. Yeah, that hurts. Considering a -4 next week, a Salah, Matoma, Visser, Saka, and Burma, Havertz. That could be worth it. I quite like that, to be honest. It doesn't sound great taking Salah out for a hit before he plays Wolves away, but... I don't know. The thing is, I think Smith Rowe is actually all right. So... I think he's done all right so far. Goal and assist already. I mean, João Pedro's obviously... I don't know. Simply FPL. I don't know if you're just trolling me there, or whether that's a serious question about wildcard transfers again. After everything that's happened. Start Lewis, Harwood, Bellis, or Robinson. I'm going to say Harwood, Bellis. Home to Ipswich. Let's go with it. I don't have to do it, so it's easier to say that, but why not? Watching Andy on Fantasy Premier League show talking about keeping Rodgers. Got to do it. This is the week. This is the week. Also, did I not see that he really wants to Actually, no, I don't know. Actually, I won't say that. Could be wrong. I'm honestly not trolling. I thought they changed it in and out of the stream. All right, let me just double check what you have. Do free transfers carry through? Yes. However many transfers you have going into the game week is however many you have afterwards. I'm captain in Trent. I don't have Salah. Wish me luck. Good luck. If you wildcard today, a price is locked until deadline. Nope. Sharda versus Semenyo, and who's the best 4 million long term? Mosquera probably from 10. I quite like Greaves still though. Sharda versus Semenyo. Semenyo is definitely the safer pick, but Sharda's a little bit cheaper, and the fixtures are probably better for longer. Start João Pedro and Smith Rowe's first sub. If João Pedro doesn't play, you get Smith Rowe anyway. That is true. But if João Pedro's on the bench and he comes on for a 1-point cameo, I don't get Smith Rowe. That's the main concern. The thing is, if João Pedro does start, his minutes will probably be quite good. Classic 3-4-3. It just feels so wrong to have sold Isak, who might start, to bench Smith Rowe, who'll definitely start, buying Calvert-Lewin with a flag and playing him. Although I think Calvert-Lewin will be fine. Calvert-Lewin was just ill. That might have even just been an excuse not to play him in the Carabao Cup. I think he'll start. I'm pretty confident on that, to be honest. Forest defence is very good. It is pretty good, yeah. Brighton attack's quite good, though. Although it's hard. I know it sounds stupid saying that after they just drew 0-0 with Ipswich. Start Smith Rowe, João Pedro. Pranav, we've just been discussing that. Good luck. Smith Rowe's definitely starting. João Pedro might not. It's a bit of a risk. Calvert-Lewin's got to start. Unlikely to play the full 90. That is probably correct, Joe. Oh, Dunk or João Pedro. That's a tight call. Like, Dunk's pretty good this week, I'd say. Ben Krellin's wild-carded. Ben's wild-carded in Game Week 5. He had Alisson, though. Maresca confirmed Chelsea's nailed 11. I don't know if he did do that. Everyone's saying Jota starts. Where's that info come from? Where's everyone seeing that Jota starts? Also, if people are leaking the team, it seems a bit weird not to... Oh, Fran has retweeted that James Waffland account, so maybe he knows he's usually good for team news. There you go. Oh, Spy and Cop. Oh, what's the wait. What's their Twitter handle again? I find Twitter's very weird now. Oh, there you go. It's very weird with how you search for accounts. I don't see anything on there. I'm sure he does start, though. Klopp said it. Need a result. Captain Harden or Watkins or punt Trent. Watkins out of those, I think, maybe. You have absolutely mastered sincere indifference. I don't know what that means, but thanks. Or not thanks. That's probably a bad thing. Go on the facts. JP has been training a few days, so could start. Isak, there's no news about training, so maybe out. I think Diaz starts, yeah. 3 minutes. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm going to do quickly? I think my wife is power washing our drive, but let's see if she's around. Let's see what she says. She's probably a bit too busy. She's been inactive off her phone for 3 hours. Oh no, she's seen the message. She's seen the message. She's going to say João Pedro because it's a more exotic name. Can you ask your wife if she thinks Isak starts? He's with the squad. I think he'll start. Oh, she wants to know who they're against. She's definitely going to pick João Pedro now because she'll think Newcastle are good. Here we go. Pedro, I knew that was coming. I don't believe Calvert-Lewin and Pedro will play 90 minutes. Yeah, no, you're probably right. All right, Luke says Luke's playing João Pedro. The wife's saying João Pedro. I'm going to go with João Pedro. When Smith Rowe, I wish Smith Rowe was playing tomorrow. Honestly. I'm just going to go with it. So this is locked in now. I'm locked. I think. Oh, Smith Rowe's definitely... Yeah, Smith Rowe's not going to play 90 either, but he's definitely going to start. I kind of knew she would pick João Pedro, though. See, she doesn't have all the context, you know? She doesn't have the context about the yellow flag. She won't be happy when I tell her that. Wait, what? That seems like a bit of a troll there. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that. I'll unban you if that turns out to be correct about Jamie Vardy, but I don't think it is. Then what would he be suspended for? We have found this hilarious as I did the same thing and my wife picked Smith Rowe. She might have picked Smith Rowe if I told her that it was Emil Smith Rowe. Sounds like a cooler name. Okay, I'm locked. I'm locked. I'm locked. I'm locked. We're locked in. There we go. Oh, I need to do the draw for the sleeper pick'em thing. I'll do that in just a second. Fulham 1-0. Smith Rowe goal. Robinson assist coming. Yeah, could happen. I didn't drink that much water this stream. Oh, he got baited. Okay, I'll just unban now then. It's a bit harsh. I think he's been around for a while, so I don't think he would have done that on purpose. Salah doesn't start. Come on, get out of here. All right, deadline's done. Thank you very much. I'm going to quickly... Hang on a second. I'm just going to do something that I should always do before the stream starts, and I always forget. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to put Do Not Disturb. And I need to... Oh, yeah. Boom. Okay. Let me just turn that off. Okay. So this is the... these are the people that all got 8 predictions correct in Game Week 4 on Sleeper. If you want to join the Let's Talk FPL League, there's a link in the description below. So whoever wins this will get a Premier League shirt of their choice. I'll DM you after this. Does Allison start? Doesn't sound likely, but I don't know for sure. All right, this is it. There's a lot of people on this list. Lots of you got 8. Do you have a way to see how long someone has followed you? No, fortunately not. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I still don't need to write it down. I can just watch the stream back. I'm going to DM you in a minute on Sleeper. So let me just do this. So this is the Pick'em League. You can just download it using the link in the description. You just have to submit your picks, which is super easy to do. Like, so I've got Chelsea to beat West Ham, Villa to beat Wolves, Leicester to beat Everton, etc. Fulham and Newcastle draw. And then in this table of people, it's got overall scores. So I'm doing rubbish. I've got 18 predictions right in the first 4 weeks. Some people are on like 29, 28. But basically, I can check individual game weeks. So this was game week 4, and all those people that got 8 were on the list to be drawn. But it's completely free fantasy football out. There's a ton of stuff in there. If you want to create pick'em leagues with your friends, you can do that. You can play draft and stuff like that. I'm playing. Let me just check here. I'm playing against Black Box this week. They reckon the Black Box have got a 55% chance to win. I think my team's pretty good this week. Isak, Calvert-Lewin, Mateta, looking good. Anyway, if you want to join the Pick'em League, just click that link in the description below and get your predictions done before the first game, Chelsea versus West Ham. So these are all the people that are joining now. You can see here. You can chat in there as well if you want. Yeah, it's a cool app. It's completely free. So basically, whoever gets the most predictions right in Game Week 5 will get a Premier League shirt of their choice. If there's multiple winners, I'll do a draw on the next deadline stream like I did before. All right. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed that stream, make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button. Good luck in Game Week 5 as well. Let's hope that Salah repays the faith. Otherwise, I'm going to be in tears this afternoon. The game's on live in Ireland as well, so I'm a little bit worried about it. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the stream, get a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you again on Sunday. For anyone looking for the link for Sleeper, it's in the description below. Thank you very much. See you later.